شكور يا الله لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا لك لبيك لبيك لا شريك.
I'm Yusuf Estes.
I'm Amr As-Samni.
And this is all about Hajj. They're going to be talking today in your mind. Things when you think back, if somebody says the word Hajj, you think, oh, what about this? And oh, what about that? And I know that there are a lot of things that before you make Hajj, you think that you're going to think about those things forever, getting your visa together or getting the travel. Oh, you'll see what the big Sheikh, another pops in your mind. I'm going to say to you the word Hajj. What do you think?
Of course, visiting the Prophet's masjid after the Hajj is over. Although you have to clarify this, visiting the Prophet's masjid or Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam masjid is not part of Hajj whatsoever, because a lot of people think that definitely that beautiful visit that you would perform, like it's almost like you after Hajj and all that those fatigue muscles, and after all that hassle you go through, and of course the manasik and out and worship, now it's just time to relax. It's like this is really a beautiful time, just relaxation. This is why I personally prefer to visit the Medina after Hajj, not before Hajj. Some people go there before Hajj. I've tried both, but I find myself enjoying.
I think so too. Yeah,
yeah.
It's big. They've done a lot to that. We talked about some of the other things, the improvements have been made. And there's absolutely, they did not neglect this great place.
I mean, the architecture and the technology of just those
umbrellas
have you seen those
outside?
Not just that, the ceilings. Actually, the ceiling.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Where it slides.
Yeah, and it opens and it closes.
I actually I was there one night at Maghrib time. Okay, and those things were out. Okay, and then it was Maghrib time, and we prayed Maghrib. We did 5 minutes, and I looked back, and I said, hey. And I was up there on the top of the roof where they did it. And I didn't hear anything.
No, you don't.
I didn't see them move.
You don't feel it.
I said, am I crazy, or did those things move? And they started laughing. They say, yeah, they move. They go back and forth at a certain time of the day. That it's to give shade to the people and light inside, and then at night it just goes back home. And I said, yeah, but I didn't hear anything. They said, it's totally silent. You won't hear it. As huge as those things are, they move without any sound.
The ceiling of the mosque.
It's a strange thing to watch that. And the escalators they have there are excellent, and they'll get you right upstairs, and they only go up. And you can take stairways to go down, but they're only going to go up, and then after the prayer, they're only going to go down. Have you noticed that?
No, I never took it.
Yeah.
I usually go up the stairs.
Yeah, well, I enjoy going there too, but I have to tell you something. The first year that I did Hajj and Hajj, my wife and I did Hajj and Umrah, we did not go to Medina.
You did not go to Medina? On the first Hajj?
Did not go to Medina.
Why is that?
Everybody who was there with us, they said, we're going to go. You ready to go? Back in those days, it wasn't tour groups. You could do what you wanted to do. Okay, it wasn't organized or structured. You just take off, do what you want to do. And they gave you coupons to go on the buses. You could give a coupon to the driver and go to where you needed to go or do what you wanted to do. You had these tickets. But for me, I said no, and I asked my wife if she was with me on this, and I don't think she would agree with it now, but at that time she had never experienced Medina. And now she's definitely going to go, But in those days I said, we know and we learned from some of the best scholars that it is not a requirement, but many people think it is. So let us be different and let us not go, so that when people ask us, we'll say we made Hajj, but we didn't go to Medina. And what will they say? They'll say, why, you didn't go? And I said, yes, it gives us a chance to open up that discussion. I think it's worth it. In retrospect, I would tell everybody, you go to Medina, I don't care what other people think. Go, because it's worth so much to you. But at the time, I really felt that that was an important thing, because so many people thought it was obligatory, it was a part of the Hajj. And when we came back, sure enough, that's exactly what many people said. You made Hajj, but you didn't go to Medina, your Hajj doesn't count. Actually, you have to go back. And then we would bring the dalil, and we would make programs about it. We told so many people, they wrote about it. So I feel like it accomplished what I wanted to do, but I do feel that I missed something, because every time I've been back to Medina, and I've been there many times, because of course my son-in-law is living there, but I would never, even when I'm at his house, I said, let's go over there. He said, there's a masjid right here by the house, we don't have to go all the way in. I said, hello? 1,000 times the reward? You don't want to get in the car and go over there? Okay, let's go, Dad. He calls me Dad. So we take off, we'll go. But I love to go over there.
Actually, there's like those people refer to this weak hadith, if not actually fabricated, that says "Man hajja al-bayta wa lam yazurni faqad jafani," which translates as whoever performs Hajj to the house of Allah and does not visit me, then surely he has forsaken me. This is the meaning
I
of
heard
it.
that.
Yeah. It's actually fabricated hadith. It's not even authentic or anything.
It's
not valid. No.
Yeah.
So a lot of people always refer to this hadith. Yep.
Yeah, but obviously that would not be the case. This is, but it is important for us to take advantage of this opportunity, because you may never get it again. So each individual who is making this, I don't want them to do what I did. But I did it for a reason. Allah blessed me to let me go again and again and again since then. But that visit, how many people have told you when they enter the precincts of Medina, they enter the city of Medina, what do they always say?
They say that they always talk about that peace, that just feeling that as soon as they enter, they feel so much peace. It's so overwhelming.
Well, I think a lot of that is because if you just got through with Hajj, you do feel it even more. But even before you make Hajj, you feel it. Yeah? Yes.
I've tried both, but definitely every time you enter, you feel that. Because remember, it's the prayer the Prophet ﷺ has prayed, and he has asked Allah for that. So it's definitely the answer to the Prophet's prayers.
There's a word in Arabic, tranquility, translates in Arabic to
Tama'nina, sakina.
Sakina. Yeah. Do you think that's a legitimate term to say that somebody feels sakina when they enter there?
This is exactly what I'm talking about, yes. That peace, that tranquility, that serenity is sakina. That.
I feel that so much when I'm over there. Also the wrangling that people normally do and selling stuff in the streets and trying to buy and sell, and when you pass by, hey, come on over here. You find that in Mecca. They're trying to buy, sell, trade. You still have the traders up there in the bazaars and things, but it's not the same. First time that I visited Medina, now this was in another Hajj, but it was the first time I visited Medina, had my daughters with me. And we went into a shop area across from our hotel, and I was looking around, and the shops had been closed, and they opened up while we were there. And they said, Dad, can we get this or that? I said, yeah, sure. And then I forgot my billfold. Well, we'll have to go back, honey. And a man walked up to me and said, in English, he was Arab, but in English, he said to me, what are you looking for? I said, I need to find a machine to get money out of or do something. And then I realized even in my billfold, all I had was American money, US dollars. And he said, well, how much do you need? And I was so embarrassed. I mean, no, it's okay. He said, no. And I don't remember the amount now, but it seems like he gave us a few hundred rial.
Allah. A few hundred.
Yeah. And I said, but how will I reach you? Allah will bring us back together, don't worry. And I said, well, at least tell me your name. And he told me his name. And then he told me he's actually from Brooklyn. And I said, really? Yeah. He said, don't worry, it'll be all right. And I kept thinking, oh, I'm going to see this guy. I heard where he's going with a certain tour group, you know. And I was thinking, well, I could find him that way. I know his name. And then all of a sudden, a few days later, I bumped into him. And immediately I got the money and I went over to him. He said, don't worry about it. I'm like, no, I have to pay you. But now, he's a very good friend, by the way. But is that amazing? People are so soft when they're over there. All of us, I mean, I felt soft. If anybody needed anything, I'd be like the first one, want to give it to them.
I think it's mostly and I've heard this from so many people, that it is the most peaceful place on earth. Most peaceful place on earth.
I don't doubt that for 1 second. I don't doubt it at all.
Even better than Mecca. Yeah, in that sense.
As far as the peace. Yeah, because when you're on Arafat and when you're doing Hajj and everything, you're not there seeking peace, you're seeking forgiveness. Mm-hmm. And along the way you're suffering, and Allah is forgiving you as you're going through all of these trials and tribulations. But when you get to Medina, and the Prophet ﷺ's dua, tell us about it. What was the dua that he made that Allah make it like that?
Basically, the Prophet ﷺ, you know, when he first migrated and left Mecca, of course, when he was leaving, he said, you know, and he actually paused for a minute addressing Mecca, and he said that Allah knows that you are the most beloved place to me on earth, and if it was not for your people who actually expelled me out of you, I would have never left you. And then he migrated to Medina, and of course that was the same exact feeling that his companions had about them just departing and leaving Mecca.
The dua. Then we want the dua. Tell us quickly the dua. We got to wrap it up.
Basically, he prayed and he said, "Oh Allah, make this place more beloved to us than Mecca. Make this place more beloved to us than Mecca, and fill it with peace." This is basically was the dua.
MashaAllah, and we've run out of time once again on about Hajj. MashaAllah.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك